Welcome. You are listening to Humans of Mitti Ke Rang. And today we are in conversation with Miss Ellaine Cruz from the Philippines. Miss Cruz, while being a content manager, is an entrepreneur in the working. She is also an author of a self-published book. Tune in to know more about her life and journey so far.
To the questions, Elaine?
Yeah,
Great.
go for it.
So, you've been a content manager in some really big companies like Maersk and CNN and True ID. So, what has your experience been like, and why did you think of getting into content management?
Okay, because I started my career not actually in content writing, but I did shift, and I've always been like passionate about content. Like I like seeing and consuming content myself. So I like high quality, reading good articles and watching really really cool and uh, high quality videos and stuff like that. I used to have my own blog, and I've just been writing a lot and using my creativity to create content. So that's when I actually started. Excuse me. So when I joined CNN, it was a news channel, but I was working on the digital side of things. So the experience was very insightful in terms of because it's mass media, we always need to know like what to um, publish, what is like there's some responsible journalism involved there as well. So and then of course being in the news is really stressful.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so when I moved to Maersk, um I was still part of the what do you call this like sort of creative team, and we created like marketing content. So we also made sure that it's engaging and it's something that is still meaningful for people who see the ads and the campaign. So
Right.
that's because like the journey. But I think it revolves around understanding what people want to read and watch and hear. So
Right. So, was that your first step towards the journey of writing a book?
yeah, so well, I've actually been writing since I was young, like I said. So this book actually is a collection of poems I've written over the years, like seriously since I was in high school. So, I have this like old, really really old notebook where everything is. So basically, what I did is I just took them out, like picked a few and like the best, which I think are still not so cheesy. So this is actually a poetry book, and of course I wrote a few like poems over the past couple of years. When I went through something, it makes you write. Like it was a form of expression for me. So for the past year, I've been wanting to publish it. I never really had a chance to do it until this pandemic, because now I had time finally. Like I have so much time at home, so I self-published it. I had to like really learn it on my own, so it's quite easy actually. So if there's anybody who wants to publish their own books as well, it's quite easy. So I mean, I can share some info as well.
Sure, sure. Sure. Would you like to share it now?
Yeah, sure. So basically, Amazon, and there are a lot of other platforms online that allows self-publishing, but I think Amazon is one of the easiest ones. First, I published an ebook, so they have a tool, and it's very easy to use. You just need to download it and use it. Publish paperbacks, because as long as you have it, then they are not really, it's at no cost to writers actually. So they will only print copies of your paperback if someone orders it. So it's really, an opportunity that is out there to writers like me who, probably find it more difficult to find publishers to publish their work. So
Right. Right. So I'm imagining, please correct me if I'm wrong, that since you're such an artistic person, you might be very obsessed with stationery.
yeah. When I
Yeah,
was
because
young, I used to collect those actually, like, and scented ones, and yeah, I have a lot of planners that I've never written on as well. So or notebooks. I like buying notebooks also. So yeah.
yeah, I can absolutely relate. So right now you are planning to shift to doing something of your own from your content management career. So
Yeah,
what?
actually. So I've always been employed, but I also had some businesses on the side since I graduated from college. So I used to actually have a dance studio. It's still there. My friends are running it. And so earlier this year, actually late last year when I was still in Bangalore before I moved back to Manila, I started a shoe business with my friends. So we have an online store. Um, it's called shopzaki.com. It's not shipping worldwide yet, but it's shipping in Manila. And so that is something I started with her. We've always liked, designing shoes and making them really comfortable and cute. And like earlier this year, I started conceptualizing with also a partner, like an e-commerce website for the Philippines. So that is coming soon, and it's really sort of going to solve a lot of shopping for your essentials from your local favorite stores. You don't have to walk out there, and it's still local. So that is something I'm hoping to launch in the Philippines in the next couple of weeks. So I'm just just never just content with just one job. But yeah, I mean, I always like doing hustles on the side and making this like I call it happy projects. That's it.
Right. And we wish you all the very best with this project. And
Thank you.
please tell us more about how you started off. And I'm sure you must have learned a lot. It must have been quite a learning process for you. So, what are the things that you've learned throughout this process?
I think the best thing is that I have to be very agile, like because most of the things are like startups, and it's usually small team, mostly just me and a few friends. Then we have to wear multiple hats at the same time. So I guess being flexible and just willing to learn and being self-starter is very important in this kind of ventures. And I think the willingness to learn, like probably yesterday I don't know how to I don't know, like do some CSS, then now I know how to. So it's stuff like that, some tech stuff.
Right. And you are a very creative mind, as we have learned. So, how do you, if, I'm sure you might have creative blocks from time to time when it comes to your
Yeah.
work. How do you get over that?
The thing is, I really like pull inspiration from many different things. I'm not saying I don't encounter blocks too. I do, and when I do, it's really nothing that comes out, But I read a lot of books, or I try to read a lot of books. If not, I read some stuff online. Lots of the people I encounter, I get inspired with their experiences as well to write. And I do watch a lot of movies and Netflix these days. That's where I get some inputs from. And I guess just also taking a break, finding time to be quiet and just sitting down with my notebook somewhere every morning. And even if I have, I just write whatever it is there on my mind. And then like 2 days later, it's just a few sentences, then 2 days later it becomes a poem. So it's also a process. So, but I think very important is some time for myself, like some quiet time as well. So
So it's basically you start off with your creative process for personal to to get something out like personally, and then it extends to something professional. Is that it?
yeah, definitely, because many of the things I do, like of course when I work, it's always inspired by my drive to provide for my family, and make sure I'm earning some enough money. I think that's very important, right? We all still have to be practical. But at the same time, so then it's always personal because I get inspiration from that. And that's my motivation as well, to always succeed, right? Um so I guess it's just a balance of both, actually, because I also get fulfillment when I achieve things like personal achievement, whether or not, like for me, even if my book doesn't become a bestseller, as long as I have something that I know I've ticked it off, my box, then
Yeah.
that it's already something I'm very, very happy with.
Right. Great. And so it's all about inspiration, especially creative work. So
Yeah,
who is your
I mean,
inspiration?
a lot of my inspiration is from my own personal experiences, actually. Um, but yeah, I mean, the creative process for me is like when I go through something, my mind runs like, oh my god, like seriously, it's like it runs 24/7, and sometimes I couldn't keep up, and how I think I turn that into art, like when I paint or um, and when I write. So oftentimes the first draft is not really, but it develops like 2 days later. I look at what I wrote again,
Yeah.
and it evolves into something much better and something I'm much more proud of to, you know, show out there to the world. So,
Right. But is there anybody that you look up to when it comes to your work?
I do follow, or I do like in terms of writing, I think I do have some authors that I really look up to, like Paulo Coelho and J.K. Rowling, who
Mm-hmm.
also just started her first book. I mean, a little later, not as young as many people have started these days. So those are like sort of my inspiration. Like we can never start too late. Um, but actually, many of my inspirations are just normal people I have encountered in my travels and in my work also. So I used to have a manager back in CNN who I really look up to, and whatever major decision that I do in my career, I consult with her. And if I reach any milestone, I also tell her. So it's just that because she helped me and really, really taught me a lot of things. So so that's that is how I like sort of look up to people. So
Lovely. And so you were also in India for, I'm not sure how long, but you were here.
for a
So
year,
please
yeah.
share with us your, please share with us your experience.
It was so I stayed in Bangalore for a year. It was an awesome experience, actually. So I've never been away from family for such a long time. Um, and it was a great experience in terms of meeting a lot of new people, and meeting, understanding the Indian culture. But I really, really enjoyed that. I love Indian food. I miss my masala dosas and my my chola bhatura. I miss it every day. And I learned a lot of to cook Indian food as well. But
Yeah.
I think the best part of living there was that I met so many people as well who just sort of pushed me to you know just be my best self, or be the best version of myself. They were like my unexpected family, and I mean, I wish I could have traveled more, within India, but I was just so busy working. So Um, but it was a very awesome experience for me. So I was working there as marketing manager at Maersk. So marketing program manager at Maersk. So um, I learned a lot about how I think the one thing I probably can share that I learned when I lived there is that I shouldn't be afraid to assert myself, because I think the difference in terms of culture, right? Because we're Asians, we're often very timid, and I was never proud of myself, of my work. I always like this Instagram account. I used to call it bylines because I don't want people to know it's me. So I was not very proud of, and the people I met in India, like they taught me to be, assertive and just see my strengths as well, and that I should be proud of what I do and the things that I can, regardless of what other people think about it. So it's very I think that's what I realized from living there for a year.
Yeah. And have you traveled anywhere else?
I have traveled to quite a few places, but for holidays.
Yeah,
So
please share.
I've been to Indonesia. I lived in Bali for a couple of months, but some maybe many years back. Um, so there I studied yoga and some dance, and I taught some dance back there. Um, and then of course I have done some traveling in Europe for work as well when I was working at Maersk. So I visited Copenhagen and Denmark, and I went to the UK and traveled to London and Nottingham. So really, really some cool places I would not have visited if I didn't get the chance to work there. So it was really a very exciting experience for me. And yeah. So with Asian countries, I've also been to just Hong Kong and Singapore. So I have not been out to many other Asian countries, which now I'm thinking I won't be able to do in the next couple of years, maybe because of this pandemic.
Hopefully, hopefully. And so, since you have traveled quite a lot, you are exposed to several different cultures. So, have you picked up anything from these cultures, some learning, some teaching that you use in your life even today?
Maybe just a generic learning from all the travels, not like one from each. Is that we all have different beliefs and we all have different cultures, and what I realize is that whatever it is that we have or we are, we should embrace it, but also at the same time we should not impose it towards others, our beliefs. So if we just respect each other's beliefs and cultures, then we'll just be peaceful, and be getting along well with each other. So that's what I realized.
Yeah, really, really well said. And so, moving on, if you could tell us, oh, we have a question from a viewer.
Yeah.
Oh, it's what you learned from traveling, more or less the same.
Yeah.
If you want to
And I
answer
guess
that.
it's also giving you, like, if you want to, like, why everybody should start traveling is because you get a better understanding of other people, right? Like, at first you might find it strange why these people act this way, but then when you actually travel there and experience it, and you have personal experiences and encounters and interactions with people from each culture, then you understand where they're coming from better. And it's like
Right.
the more you travel, the more you realize that you have not seen this world yet, not even 1% of it. It's such a beautiful world, and it's really, really worth traveling to.
Absolutely. And moving on, if you could tell our Indian viewers what you think is the beauty of Philippines, and tell us more about your country, please.
Okay, so I think every day when I was in Bangalore, because the weather there is so cool and dry, I would always tell people how I miss the humidity and the heat and the sunshine in the Philippines. So, I mean, this is really a very a warm country in terms of weather, but also because in terms of people. Like, I've never seen such good customer service or hospitality anywhere else but here. Not because I'm just from the Philippines, but I mean, when I travel, I can really see the difference where I'm being taken care of. And I think people I've met during my travels, like even the foreigners I've met, and they realize, oh, you're from Manila. I've been there, and it's the best experience ever. Or I've been to Boracay, and it was so beautiful. So and it validates my uh, thoughts about the country, that we really are very hospitable. We will make sure that whoever visits will be, comfortable, that you're served the best food, and um, that you'd feel very much at home and welcome here. So, and the beaches are really nice. Like from Manila, I can drive 2 hours from here and be on the beach every weekend. So I think, you should. It's really a good place to travel to.
Hope to soon, definitely after that all of this is gone. We hope at least
Yeah,
either me or at least for viewers can make it there. So, last couple of questions from my side
sure.
is, as a budding entrepreneur, um, again, what are some words of advice you would like to give to others who are hoping to be entrepreneurs as well?
Um, I think, like I said, it's being really a self starter. But because sometimes when you're always just, being wearing multiple hats and being self starters, then you also forget to stop and rest and, take some break. Also, it's really important. Like yesterday, I was trying to figure out something and I couldn't figure it out. And instead of taking a break and to stop and clear my head and think, I just kept working. And at the end of it all, I wasn't able to solve it. So, and then after I took a break and did it again and cleared my head, then that's when I was able to find a solution
Mhm.
to a problem. So I think also it's important to value your connections, because I realize that when you are well connected, and those people who are also going to support you, and even if you fail on one thing, or if you need support on, like advice, then you'll just keep pushing on. So that is what's, I think, is very valuable to me.
Right, right. And finally, before we say goodbye for the day, if you could please share with our viewers ways that they can connect with you and they can get in touch with you and know more about your work. And if you could share social media handles or your website, whatever you have.
So I'm mostly here on Instagram. So it's I'm using this same account, so they can send me messages here, or they can also visit my website, elaineC.com. So that's down now. There's no content, but I hope to get it back up in a few weeks once I have more time to focus on it. So, but I'm always here on Instagram.
Absolutely. Yes. And we're looking forward to see your business grow and succeed. And we wish you all the very best with that. And thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your thoughts and experiences with us. It's been super great.
Thank you. No problem. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you,
good day
Angela.
and please.
Bye.
Bye bye.